KJV with you. You can read along with us.
Yeah,
Okay. And
yes, sir.
are you from a particular denomination church?
No, I'm not. I'm not in a camp or church.
Okay. And what's your name?
You Zion.
Zion. Like Zion, the basketball player?
Nah, like Zion and Paleo Hebrew, Zayan.
Okay. All right. All right. So nice to meet you. Let me have you. So
Mm-hmm.
let's look at some evidence for it. So let me have you turn to Matthew chapter 1. This is what we found so far. Matthew chapter 1. I'll give you time to catch up where we're at.
Yeah, give me a second.
Okay. So if you look at verse 1, right from the start, it says, "This is the book of the generation of Jesus Christ, the son of David, the son of Abraham." So Christ is the son of David and the son of Abraham in like a lineage sense, right? Lineage, like he's from the line of David. He comes down from the line of Abraham as well. This is not saying he has two baby daddies. Like that's a little joke, but you get what I'm saying. Okay, so verse 2, it established the fathers. Abraham begot Isaac, Isaac begot Jacob, Jacob begot Judas, et cetera, all the way down to verse 16. And here it says, and Jacob begot Joseph, the husband of Mary. That was key right there, I believe. Um, who of whom was born Jesus, who was called Christ. So we know, so the Bible gives you certain words to let you know what's going on. So we know Mary is married to Joseph because the word husband. So anybody whose native language is English, we know the word husband, the word wife tells us about a marriage. And and let me ask you this. Uh in verse 16, if you look at that, who is supposed to be who not supposed to be, that's a bad way to propose it. But who is Joseph's father here? This is for Zion.
Jacob.
Okay. And what word lets you know that?
Right. Huh? Say
What
it
word?
again.
What word lets you know Jacob is the father?
You said what word?
Yeah.
He's begat.
Right. So so the Bible it sometimes spell it out for you, word for word. Sometimes it uses a certain special word that ties a relationship between two people. So then we read Mary, of whom was born Jesus, who is called the Christ. So this is the interesting part. In verse 16, who is Jesus' father?
You said verse 15.
16, the same passage, verse 16.
And you said who is Moses' father?
No, Jesus.
Oh, Joseph.
What word lets you know that in verse 16?
Well, not necessarily. Uh, it says the husband of Mary, who
Right.
was born
That
Jesus.
shows marriage, right? The husband of Mary shows a marriage. The word husband shows marriage. Jacob begot Joseph. The word begot lets you know Jacob is the father. Mary, of whom was born Jesus, lets you know Mary is the one who gave birth to Jesus, and Jesus is who is called the Christ. But what word here, if there's any, establishes Joseph as the father of Jesus?
Well, if I see it, well, if they already, they telling you who begot who,
Right.
and they trying to give you a little context of where Jesus lineage come from. So when it says Jacob begat Joseph, the husband of Mary,
Right.
of whom was born Jesus, so they're trying to say that from Joseph and Mary was was born Jesus.
Well, okay. So, for example, when you see the word begot, that does not imply the mother. So that action is only the father. So when you read Abraham begot Isaac, that begot doesn't include Sarah. That's solely an action from Abraham. And when the Bible, when it says women give birth, that's an action only women, a man doesn't share that experience. Only a woman gives birth. So the women, they lay on their back or how they do it, stand up, squat, and the baby come out. So that's solely a woman's action. So if you look at verse 5, let me know when you're at verse 5.
Okay.
Okay, so verse 5 is what you were trying to say. So if they were trying to give Mary and Jesus the credit for, I'm sorry, they were trying to if they were trying to give Mary and Joseph the credit for Jesus, it would read like this. It says, and Salmon begot Boaz or Rechab. Now Rechab is Rahab of Joshua. She was the woman, the Gentile in the city of Jericho who hid the spies from being captured. And Salmon is her husband. And if you know the story of Ruth, Boaz is the son of Salmon. So as you can see in verse 5, it shows the mother, it shows what part she played, but the word begot is not omitted. So the word begot is still there even when the mom is mentioned. So it keeps going, verse 5. It says, and Boaz begot Obed or Ruth. So if you know the story of Ruth, you know Boaz had bought the lot from Naomi, and he was part of that deal was that he'll marry Ruth. So Boaz married Ruth, and they gave a child Obed. So the word begot is still there. The word begot in this genealogy is not omitted from any father. Every father is tied to a son by the word begot. If the word begot is not there, that's just because you don't have a son. That's why, like, when you hear of the only begotten son, that literally lets you know that son comes from that man. Um, so, but Ruth is still there, begot is still there, and the dad is still there. But when you go to verse 16, you don't see that. You see the last begotten son here is Joseph. It says, and this is some of the evidence we found. It says, and Jacob begot Joseph. So Joseph is begotten by Jacob. Joseph, the husband of Mary, Joseph is married to Mary. Mary is of whom gave birth to Jesus. Only women give birth. And Jesus, who is called the Christ. So the interesting thing here is that Jesus is the only male child who's not begotten by a father in the words you said, in the genealogy. The genealogy is where you would have to, show your parents. And here he's the only one that's showing one parent. Well, not only one showing one parent, but he's the only one showing one parent through a mother. I should say that. He's the only one where there's no father connection. There's no begotten father. Do you see that in 16?
I'm looking at it now.
Yeah. So that is some of the evidence that supports. Like I said, there's some things that goes against it, but there's some evidence that supports it. So we came to the conclusion that verse 16 supports the virgin birth. It shows Jesus being born of his mother and his father has not begotten him. And if you look at verse 2 starts off the begotten fathers with Abraham, and it ends with Jacob. Jacob is the last begotten father, and Joseph is the last begotten son.
That's why. That's why I see it. That's why, like, I see it. Like, I see it in verse 16. I see it the way they put it, because it said Joseph, the husband of Mary, of whom. So what I'm taking it as Joseph and Mary is the combine of whom. Like, the whom is Joseph and Mary. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, give me 1 minute. Okay, brother, say that one more time. Brother Zion, say that one more time.
So,
Yeah.
nah, so in verse 16, so what I see is, so when it was starting, so they start with the fathers when it says begot. So when it says Jacob begot Joseph, so they letting you know Joseph is the husband of Mary.
Right.
And they combining the two when it says of whom, they got a comma right after Mary. They trying to let you know of whom was born Jesus. So they let you know Joseph and Mary begot Jesus,
Yeah, but the word
who we
begot's
all
not,
call Christ.
yeah, but the word begot's not there. And so if you look at
They
verse two,
don't so like it does it have to be there?
was it there for every other father?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, it don't. I mean, it don't. I mean, I'm asking you, like, does it have to be there?
Yeah.
Like,
If
does
if
any?
yeah, okay, look, so hold that right there. We'll come right back to that. Go to Genesis
Mhm.
chapter 5. I want to show you something.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, like certain words, like for example, how would you know that Abraham is the father of Isaac? Because don't forget, it says Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and Judah. So if I said Jacob is Abraham's son, what would you say?
Repeat that.
Okay, so in verse 2 of Genesis, so still go to Genesis chapter 5, but in Matthew chapter 1, verse 2, it says Abraham begot Isaac, which we know. It says Isaac begot Jacob, which we know, and it says Jacob begot Judah. Judah is one of the sons. But what if I told you Abraham's son is Judah? You would say that's incorrect, right? If I said Abraham's son was King David, would you agree?
That Abraham's son was King David.
Right. Would you agree with that?
Mm,
Abraham, his son is Isaac
you
and
talking
Ishmael.
about King? You talking about Abraham, the
Yeah,
father of all nations, right?
yeah. I'm
Okay,
saying
so yeah,
no, but no. Listen, what I'm saying. Did Abraham have kids?
yeah,
Was Jacob one of them?
yeah,
No, no. Jacob was Isaac's boy. Isaac had Jacob and Esau. Remember?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So is Jacob Isaac's son or is he Abraham's son?
He's Isaac's son.
Right. And that's why the word begot got to be there because it doesn't say Abraham begot Jacob. It says Abraham begot Isaac. So yeah, the
But
word
like,
just hear
yeah,
me.
but like then again, it's like the husband, like from all like look at here, like
Yeah.
from the beginning of Matthew chapter 1,
Right.
and it goes down the lineage.
Yeah.
None of them, when they mention about the such and such begat this, they don't mention the wife
Yes, they do.
nowhere.
We
They
just
don't say the
okay,
husband.
brother. We just
You get
read
what I'm
that in
saying?
verse
It don't
5.
say,
No, we read that in
huh?
verse 5. Okay, you might got amnesia, but verse 5 it says Salmon begot Boaz of Rakab. Rakab was his wife. And then we read Boaz begot Obed of Ruth. Ruth was I explained the book of Ruth. Boaz married Ruth. So the wife is listed there. And the word begot is still there. So for every father, the word begot has to be there or they don't have kids. Like for example, Zacharias and Elizabeth, they were married, brother, and they had no kids. The angel had to come to Zacharias and tell him that you're going to have a son named John, who we know is John the Baptist. So many people are married and they have no kids. Abraham and Sarah were married for a long time. They had no kids. They were very old. They had no kids. So verse 16, it shows you Joseph and Mary is married, but it doesn't list Joseph as a begotten father. So and you will see where I'm talking about. If you go to Genesis chapter 5 real quick, and then back to Matthew, and
Mhm.
you'll see where I'm going. Let me know when you get Genesis chapter 5. Are you there? Genesis chapter 5.
From the top. From the top.
Yeah, are you at Genesis chapter 5?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now look at
What
verse
verse?
look at verse 4. It says, "And the days of Adam after he had begotten Seth, all fathers are begotten fathers if they are a father." And then, brother, look at verse 7. And Seth lived after he begot Enos. Verse 10, and Enos lived after he begot Canaan, brother. If you read that all the way down to 32, it's going to tell you that Noah was 500 years old and Noah begot Shem, Ham, and Japheth. So, brother, the word
Mm-hmm.
begot for fathers means they have a boy that's theirs biologically. So,
Mm-hmm.
you go back to Matthew chapter 1, verse 16, every father is a begotten son and every son is a begotten son. I'm sorry, every father is a begotten father, and every son is a begotten son, except for Joseph as a begotten father, and except for Jesus as a begotten son. So when you look at 16, let's at least agree here. You don't read in verse 16, you don't see the word Joseph begot Jesus, right?
You should say it again.
Okay, I said let's at least agree right here. In verse 16, we don't read the words Joseph begot Jesus.
No, we don't read
Right.
it.
Right. Because
Okay.
it's not there for a reason. It's because Joseph didn't beget Jesus. If he did, it was said like everybody else.
Why you think they left it out like that?
Because they want to point out Joseph don't have a biological seed here, and Jesus don't have a biological dad. So it's pointing out the obvious. And then it went right into of whom was born Mary was of whom was born Jesus. So, brother, the word whom is the same as who. So, if you think whom tie Mary and Joseph, then when it says Jesus, who is called the Christ, why don't that who tie Mary and Jesus? So, if whom only ties one person, so the same way it says Jesus, who is called Christ, the same way as Mary, of whom was born Jesus. So, Jesus and who is the same person, and Mary and who is the same person. That's just basic English grammar. The whom doesn't mean both of them; it just mean one of them. So Mary of whom was born Jesus, and Jesus of whom is called the Christ. That's how that sounds. So here in the genealogy, because we both noticed the genealogy, and it lists only a mother for Jesus. It does not list a father, and he's the only son that doesn't have a begotten father, and he's the only and Joseph is the only father who doesn't have a begotten son, and we see it plain as day. It sticks
Mm-hmm.
out.
So,
So,
so that's oh my bad. I didn't mean to cut
oh,
you off.
go ahead. So,
But
what you gonna say?
that what you believe in, the immaculate conception?
Well, it's not about. So remember, brother, this study this study was supposed to be unbiased. Like everybody's supposed to step away from their belief because
Mm-hmm.
some sisters believe in it, some don't, right? So all of us was going to take a
Yeah.
step away from our beliefs and just look at the text and just go with the evidence. Whatever the evidence point is to, we're going to lean that way. So in the genealogy of Matthew, as you just read for yourself, this at least right here, I'm not saying everywhere else in the Bible. I'm saying at least Matthew chapter 1 only. This book would lean toward this chapter would lean toward the virgin birth. It wouldn't lean toward the Joseph birth, right? Because there's more evidence that shows he's not Joseph's son than we have he is Joseph's son. So this is the evidence that would be in favor for virgin birth. But I'm not saying it's the end all be all. So there's a lot of Bible left. But at least we can say, okay, this is virgin birth so far. You agree with that, right?
Mm, I don't say I necessarily agree with it,
Do you find any?
but
Okay, so how about this? Just to be fair,
hmm
what are you reading from Matthew's 1 to the last verse 25 that shows that we can read just plain, like without somebody, you know, going through the loops. We just read it real plain that Jesus is the son of Joseph. Why, where do you read where it's just that plain?
that's not plain. But I'm just analyzing. I'm looking back over it too, because
Take your time.
I ain't touched on this subject in a long time.
Yeah. So that's the
So
thing.
I'm
That's the thing. It's not
huh?
really it's not really a subject. The Bible tells us to focus on the birth of Christ and the death of Christ. So this is not really a subject. This is something that we're supposed to keep in our memories. You know what I mean? The way he was born and the way he died. Now consider this. Did Christ perform miracles? Did he when he walked the earth, did he perform miracles?
Yeah,
Right. Did he die and come back to life in a miraculous way?
yeah.
Right. So everything about Christ is a miracle, but the birth will be normal? No, like he's the Messiah. So he's going to enter the birth a miraculous way. He's going to perform miracles and he's going to leave the earth in a miraculous way. Everything about him is different than us. This is why he's the son of.
I disagree, but I hear you though.
Well, I mean, so you disagree with what?
So I disagree that everything he did and he's different from us. I
No, no,
disagree
no.
with that.
No. Okay. Well, the only similarity he had with us is that he's in the flesh. But what I was saying, like his works, everything he did, all the things he did on earth, did man ever do before?
Say again.
How about this? The
What's
things
the
he
last part you
did,
said?
right? The things he did as even
hmm
a child to an adult, has man ever done before?
Probably.
No, no, nothing. He was 12 years.
How do you know that?
Okay, how about this? He was 12 years old teaching the elders. Can you find that anywhere in the Bible where a 12-year-old taught the elders, the learned men?
Oh, well, you speaking biblically.
Yeah,
Biblically, you're not gonna find that.
right. That's what I mean. Like we only know
You can
we
find
no
opposite in the
we
Bible.
only know Christ through the Bible, so we can only talk biblically. We don't know him personally. We know him through the Bible. That's how we know what he done, how he was born, and how he died. That's not something we just wake up and say, "Hey, Christ was resurrected." Like we were taught that through the Bible. So that's why for me it just makes sense all the way. He was born miraculously. He are you familiar with Elizabeth and Zacharias, their story?
You said Elizabeth and Zachariah.
Right, in Luke chapter 1.
I'm not too familiar with it.
Okay, so brother, all right, so brother, just to be fair, the reason why you're hesitant and reluctant to accept the truth is because you not really that studied on the events
Events of what?
of Christ and everybody that lead up to him. Because Luke chapter 1, with Mary and Zacharias, they paved the way for Jesus Christ. So John the Baptist's birth has set you up for Jesus Christ's birth. But if you're not familiar with John the Baptist's birth, then of course you're not going to know much about Christ's birth. So, but let me just tell you this. Um, or let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
If a woman is barren, naturally, can
Say
she have
what was it?
yes, yeah, so if a woman is barren, naturally, can she have kids?
Is she barren?
Right. Do you know what barren
You
means?
mean is she pregnant
No, no, no.
with a
Barren,
child?
no, no, no. That's
What
conception. No,
what you what
pregnant is
barren?
conceived or
Is she
conception.
barren?
Barren means that you cannot have kids. That the Lord blocks you from having kids. So, if a woman is barren, can they have kids naturally? You don't know?
I believe so.
Can you find can you find me one story in the Bible where a woman was barren and that she had kids by herself without the Lord intervening?
Without the Lord intervening.
Right. That means He's
No,
helping.
I can't find that. No,
Right. So why do you believe that you can't find it? That's the point.
because the natural. I don't know if you. I'm trying to break it down so you can understand. I'm not sure you're gonna understand it if I put it like that. But
Help me out.
like, so we all governed by natural laws.
Right.
So if a woman barren, so you mean to tell me she can't take no herbs to help her?
All right. So let me ask you a question. Can somebody open a door the Lord closed?
Say it again.
Can somebody open a door that the Most High closed?
I, so you saying the Most High clothes the woman if she's barren?
Yeah, brother. Every woman
If
that's born. Wait, let me ask you a question. Every woman that's born in the Bible says the Lord is the one who closed their womb. So now let me ask. So now with that knowledge, let me ask you again. If the Lord closed a woman's womb, can she have a baby naturally with herbs and Dr. Sebi medicine?
he said Doctor Sabi medicine.
Yeah.
No, how's it gonna be Doctor Sabi medicine?
No. I'm just saying because he cures a lot of illnesses. So I'm just saying like if a woman is barren because the Lord don't want her
No,
to have kids.
actually, he don't cure nothing.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So maybe that's a bad analogy.
What the scripture say? I gave the herbs for the what healing of the nations, right?
Yeah. Right. But
Okay, then. So
wait,
okay, so he didn't heal nothing.
oh, I got what you're saying. You're right. Okay, but look.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the point. You're right. The herbs are already here before he was born. You're right. But here's the
Yep.
point. The point is this: if
Mm-hmm.
the Lord closed a woman's womb to not have sex, can she go lay down with her husband and have a baby because they want to have a baby?
If you put it like that, no.
Right. So Elizabeth was barren. So if you go back to John chapter 1, Elizabeth was barren. And brother, to testify to this, all the women that were barren, they they or their husband, either the woman herself or their husband prayed to have kids. And they prayed to the most high to answer their prayer. So, brother, when you pray, it's because you want the most high to answer your prayer and do something miraculous for you to perform a miracle. So uh Zacharias was praying that him and his wife could have kids because brother, they're married. So marriage don't mean kids. They're married and they're old. So they got two problems. They're barren, they're married, barren, and old. So he's praying to the most high, don't leave me childless and don't leave my wife motherless. Let us have an offspring to leave behind. Because it was a shame to not have a son to like carry on your legacy. That's even a shame now. So the angel came to Zacharias and said, Fear not, the Lord answered your prayer. He's going to remove your wife's reproach, right? He's going to make it so that she can have kids, brother. That's called a miracle. When the Most High removes something from somebody that you can't do naturally, that means a miracle. If the Most High makes it snow in the dead summer, that's a miracle because that doesn't happen naturally. If the Most High turn water bloody, that's a miracle. If He pulls frogs and locusts out of nowhere, that's a miracle, brother. So my point is that when the angel visited women and told them about having a baby, brother, all of the women were barren. So in order for them to have a baby, it was the most high miracle, his miracles to make them have a baby. When he came to Mary, she's the only woman in the world who was not barren. That means she can have kids. So when the angel came to her and told her she's going to have a baby, she's like, duh, I'm not barren. So the angel was like, well, that's not your miracle. Your miracle, you're going to have a baby without Joseph. That's going to be your miracle. Your miracle ain't going to be you're barren and now you're not barren. Your miracle is going to be you're going to have a baby without sex. And that's why you read in the birth records of Jesus, he was without a biological father. He was the only child there that was born from a mother. Mr. Christian, did you have something for him?
Um, no, I'm just listening. I throw in a question or some type of response if I get anything when you guys are talking. But I'm just listening.
Yes. So, Brother Zion, does that make sense?
I hear where you're coming from.
Okay. Amen. But does it make sense, or do you think you need more time to think about it?
Are you asking me, do I change my mind? Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Like when you say do it make sense?
Yeah. Like I'm asking you, yeah, do you change your mind?
Like I hear where you coming from, but it's like what you saying I disagree. But
So you don't
I'm
believe
listening though. You know
so
what
you
I'm
don't
saying?
believe the
On
Bible.
open mind.
But you don't believe you're open minded,
Yeah,
do
I
you?
don't believe in the Bible.
Yeah.
Just because I disagree on how you
No, but I
how
read it
you
word for word.
how you see it, I don't believe in the Bible.
Because I read it word for word. I didn't add anything to the Bible. I read it verbatim.
You don't see it's an
You read it verbatim.
interpretation.
Okay.
So you could read
All
all
right.
you want, but it's interpretation is what you're gonna get from it, right?
No, no. It's not interpretation. It's knowledge. So
Okay.
if I look, if I tell you, if I read you a story and I said the cat was in a black hat, and I said what color was the hat, you're going to say black. That's not interpretation, brother. That's called facts. All you did was read.
I understand.
All you did was give
Yeah,
back what you learned.
if you say the cat had a top hat versus a bull hat or a bull cap or whatever, then that's interpretation.
Right.
But just the facts in and of itself is just the cat had a black colored hat.
Right. Because I never said what type of hat it was. I never said what type of hat it was. So if you said it was a fitted, that's interpretation. That's what the brother just gave to you. But if you repeat back what I just said to you, a cat was in a black hat, that's a fact. That's the evidence. So if we go back to Matthew chapter 1, verse 16, oh, we're gonna keep reading. It don't matter how many times you read it, you can read it backwards, you can
So
stutter
you
right through it.
saying so because you playing Mary. So go back to Matthew chapter 1 verse 16, right?
Yeah, I'm here. Read it.
Y'all look at it. You look at it. It's a comma after Mary. What does a comma mean in a sentence?
Pause.
Exactly. So that's not so Mary and whom it don't go together. They trying to
So
tell
let
you
me
that
ask.
Wait. No.
Joseph, the
Wait,
husband of
Meek.
Mary.
Before you ask that, I gotta go ahead with them. Okay, so brother, can you see where do you see where it says Jesus? Hello? Zion, do you see where it says Jesus?
Yeah.
Is there a comma there?
Yeah.
So when it says after the comma, when it says who is called Christ, is that talking about Jesus?
Yeah.
Okay. But you
So
just
so
Same thing
that's
with
what I'm
Mary.
saying. When it says Joseph, look, when it says Jacob begat Joseph, the husband of Mary, right? Then it says of whom, was born Jesus. It don't.
So
They combining the two. They combining Jacob and Mary the two together. It's not. That's what I'm trying to. Okay.
so both Mary and
Oh
Joseph gave birth to Jesus.
yes.
What?
Pause. Pause.
So
Wait,
you.
wait. Okay, let me ask it again. I don't know if you've heard what I said. So Mary and Joseph both gave birth to Jesus.
Oh, okay. You trying to say they? No. What I'm saying. So
Okay,
in
okay,
order
yeah.
for a woman, look, listen.
Wait.
Okay. So
But
in
no, let me
order,
tell you why I asked it. Let me tell you why I asked it, just real quick. Because it says of whom was born Jesus. So Jesus was born from this whom. So this is whoever gave birth to Jesus. Do you think that men can
let's
give birth
compare who has the
to
seed.
men?
Who has the seed? The
No, no,
father,
but
right?
it's not talking about a seed though. It says who of whom
They don't
was
have.
born Jesus.
Okay.
So it's brother, it's about who gave birth to Jesus. So do you think that Joseph gave birth to Jesus? That should be a simple answer. I mean,
No, that's not. That's not the under.
no.
Okay.
Okay, so this is
That's not.
Mary. That's the whole
That's
point. That's
that's
the whole
it.
point.
Huh?
That's the whole point. This is Mary because men don't give birth.
That's
And
Mary when
even
it's a
here,
comma right here.
yeah, but let me show you this. Let me
It
show you
does.
this.
Does it say
So
Mary begat? Does it say Mary begat Jesus?
no, it says from whom was born, like
Yeah.
whoever gave birth to Jesus, from whom? That's Mary. So let me show you. So Matthew actually has a way of mentioning the Father, Son, and Mother, right? So if we go to verse 5, for instance, it's not like Matthew just completely forgot how he was writing. He knew how he was writing. He changed up the language here at the end for a reason. So in verse 5, it says, and Salmon begat Booz, father begat son of Rahab, of the mother. So when Matthew wants to show that the father begat the son and still include the mother, he writes of the mother. But in here in verse 16, he says, of whom was born Jesus. So he doesn't say that for anybody else, but he's only making it a point to mention the mother. Do you see that? You
Brother
see
Zayan,
that?
I think he's thinking about it.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. Verse 5, verse 3, and I think verse 6 as well have the mother's mentioned, and it's the same thing. Father begat the son of the mother. So if Matthew wanted to stick with this and clearly show you that Joseph was the father, he would have said Joseph begat Jesus of Mary. But he makes it a point to change up completely how he says it and phrases it. And for this whole purpose, he has to explain the birth. And the birth isn't explained in one verse. Joseph and Mary lay with each other at this certain time. It's explained in what, 18 through 25. That's 7 verses. That seems like a lot to just explain two people coming together having sex. Like even with Adam and Eve, it says Adam knew his wife and she bare Cain. That's one verse.
Is that
Brother.
Zion, is that starting to resonate with you a little bit more?
No, I'm just reading.
Okay, so how about this, brother? Can you find us anywhere where Joseph is called the father of Jesus, a biological father, a begotten father?
So look, check this out. Check this out. So
By the way, brother, peace. How you doing? I just got your message like 30 minutes late.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's over now, but yeah, Shabbat Shalom, Zion. Yeah,
But
but brother Meach, he's a good brother with a. He sounds like he's young. Zion, are you about 27 years old?
you said am I about 27?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm 27.
Oh dang.
I still got it. I still got it.
How old
Just
are you?
Hey, thanks for calling that young, bro. I'm 26, bro. Thanks
nah,
for
yeah,
calling that young.
y'all are definitely young. Is that brother? I'm 46. You guys are definitely young. 27 is young. Don't let anybody trick you. You are young, both of you.
Well, I feel like my years are like double because I'm 6'6" and I'm already getting those body aches.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And the thing about being 26 and 2027, the advantage y'all have over me is that I didn't really start taking information serious until I was older than you guys. So you guys are already starting earlier than myself. So brother Zion, my encouragement for you is be open minded. Like never say this is that and that's it. Because sometimes the Most High, sometimes something can be true now, and then the Most High can open your eyes to see something else 15 years later. And sometimes, brother Zion, he do that to try us, just to see if we're gonna go with man's opinion or go with his word, what he's revealing to us. And you see the Pharisees and Sadducees were good examples, brother Zion. They just kept trying to test Jesus Christ. They refused to believe that he was the Messiah. And they kept testing him, and he kept reminding him what the law says, what Moses says. Is it not in your law? Doesn't Isaiah say this? He just kept reminding them what their own scrolls say, and they just ignored it because they probably felt like you. They probably didn't look in the scrolls for a little while, like how you said you ain't look in Matthews and Luke for a little while. Well, the Pharisees and Sadducees probably didn't look in the scrolls for a little while, so like, they couldn't see Christ because they enough. So now he's right there in front of them, brother Zion, and they just can't see it to the fact where they actually killed him. So now what I'm saying to you sounds like what Jesus Christ was saying to them, similar. I'm saying the virgin birth is true. And to some brothers, that's offensive. Like, what? And if I say it
No,
too,
that's why I'm asking because from my understanding, because I was that's what I was getting at because I felt like you was trying to. It wasn't like honest, trying to see like what's true, what's not, or like I felt like you just trying to. You was basically trying to tell everybody that what it
let's go to
is.
Ezra. Let's go to Ezra.
Like,
See,
okay, this is what I see. This is what it is. You see this?
no, yeah, well, boy, that's an okay. So, brother, when the Bible says,
That's what I was trying to, cause like open minded.
not,
I thought everybody trying to look for
yeah,
the,
yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I'm
but,
saying, the
but
truth
Zion,
of it.
Zion, when something is plain, it's just plain. Zion, when the Bible says Jesus Christ fed the multitudes, 2 loaves and 5 fishes, brother, is that if you read that something else, is that being open minded or that just being dishonest? Like, don't at some point, don't the Bible just say what it says?
That's what I'm getting at. Like you like for
Oh.
some people, you might look at it like this is plain as day, right? But somebody else could come along and see it in a different way,
No, brother,
and you may not understand. You might not understand it or see it. Like how in the world you could just say this is that? It's like, yo, look at it. It's right there. You know what I'm saying?
no, 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 I don't because
I was coming from a different. I was looking at it. I was looking at it in a different way.
no, no, you
This is
weren't.
not my first. This is not my first rodeo. So I was just analyzing it and looking
Feels
at it
like
in a
it.
different way.
Okay, so
And
brother,
it's not my first rodeo, bro.
okay, so brother Zion, why did you confess that it does not say Joseph begot Jesus? Why did you confess that? Because that's what I confess. We confess the same thing, and now you're acting like you didn't and acknowledge that it does not say Joseph begot Jesus. So and you confess it. So it doesn't matter how you're coming, which way you could come headless. It doesn't matter. you're still going to be able to at least touch the Bible and then touch the words, and the words are not going to change. It's never going to say Joseph begot Jesus, brother. Nowhere in the Bible, nowhere in the 66 books, nowhere
No,
in the books.
that's the question you was asking me. Does it? But I was clearly saying that it was combining Mary. It was letting you know that Joseph was married.
Oh shit!
It was the husband of Mary, right?
Right,
Of whom?
right. Whom? Do you know what type of word whom is, brother? Because you keep saying it. Do you know what type of word whom is?
What it is? Since you trying
No,
to say I don't understand whom is.
it's a
So you tell me.
relative. I got you. Let me help you out. It's a relative pronoun, like he, she, is, they, we. These are all pronouns.
Okay,
Wait, hold on.
exactly.
Wait, so let me just finish. Whom, brother? Whom is he? Like if I say he, that's a singular pronoun. That doesn't tell you about two different people or two different boys. He is one guy. If I say she, that's one girl or one female, right? Whom in this text is a singular feminine pronoun, brother. It's feminine and it's singular. So it points to one
How you
person
know it's singular?
because okay, so the Bible's written in what language? Was it written in English originally or what language?
I mean, we in the New Testament, so what was written?
Written in Greek. Okay. So Spanish, like so Greek, Hebrew, Spanish, Arabic. These are gender-based languages, brother. Every word is gender-based. Like for example, in Spanish, you if you want to say pen, you would say pluma. Pluma is pen, but that's a feminine way to say it. If you want to say a male cat, you would say gato. That's a masculine cat. That's a boy cat. If you want to say feminine cat, you would say gata. That's a male cat. So words are, and then if you want to say he, you would say el. If you want to say AI, you would say she. I mean, yeah, AI is she. Abuela is grandmother. Abuelo is grandfather. It's called a gender-based language. Greek is also gender-based, brother. The word whom here is in the feminine in Greek. Do you read Greek?
No, I don't read Greek.
I do. It's a home is a feminine word in Greek. That's how I know. And it's singular.
So
So it only points to one individual, and that one individual is a woman. You see how easy that was? The we're reading from an English translation. The Old Testament was primarily written in Hebrew. So if you want to know what something means in the English, you would go to the Hebrew. And the New Testament is primarily written in Greek. So if you want to know what the English word really meant, you'll go to the Greek. They have Bible tools for this. You got Zondervan Bible, you got concordances, you got lexicons. You have different study tools that help you understand what's being said. Okay. So in this case, in this case, the whom it only points to Mary. And you see the who where it says, see the thing is, brother, you were kind of like you was kind of dishonest. You said, look at the comma, and this is called a reach. You were reaching. You said, look at
I
the
was
comma.
reaching.
Yeah, just let me explain. You said, look at the
Yeah,
comma.
go on, listen.
You said, look at the comma after Mary. So you said you
Yeah.
said comma means pause, and well, I said it. You agreed, and you said everything after is not associated with her. And then I showed you Jesus' name, and there's a pause. So
No, I didn't say. I didn't say it wasn't associated with. I was trying to
so
say
why did you say
it's
comma?
it's
What's the
it's
whole point?
it's, it's clearly combining the two.
Clearly
It
combining? No,
doesn't say.
no, it's not. No, it's not.
Okay.
No, it's not. It's not clearly
Really?
combining.
There's
Uh,
ways of showing
It
you.
is.
There's ways of showing you that it's combining. The way it would, because a pronoun always has to agree in number, gender, and case with the word that it replaces,
Oh,
right?
he has no idea
So,
what
for
that means.
instance, yeah, so like here, I'll put it in English terms. You know how there's gender confusion and people are saying you don't know my pronouns are they them, but they them is plural. It can't refer to a singular person. Everybody knows that, right? It's the same thing in Greek. If I refer to you, if I'm speaking to Zayan and then I say later, yeah, she was saying some crazy stuff, the host would be like, "Who are you talking about?" Oh, my bad. Zion. That's how I would have to use your pronoun because you're a masculine singular person. It's the same thing here. This is a feminine singular pronoun. Feminine singular pronouns only point to one woman. That's it. Unless it's a abstract idea or thing, then it's something else. But this is a woman because the pronoun refers back to Mary.
Yeah, that's actually clear and irrefutable. Like there's really no debate there at all.
Yeah. Because there's a way that they
I'm
could
not trying to.
say, point to both of them.
Okay.
That would have to be, plural. And for us, that would be, I don't know how it would be with the who, if there's a plural for who. I don't know if it's who's or whatever, but it would be like them or they. So, make sense?
Yeah.
So I think the big question becomes, why does Matthew make it a point to only say that Jesus was born from Mary and exclude Joseph from begotten Christ? And I think
That's
his
a,
explanation is in verse 18 through 25, right? Wouldn't that make the most sense? Like, because any birth that's explained in the scripture is just, and such knew his wife and bare him, da da da. I mean, that's it, right? Hello?
are you still talking to me?
Yeah. It isn't like other births, aren't they mentioned like such and such knew his wife and they bear such, or she bears such and such, like Adam knew his wife and she bare Cain, right?
Right. Bear and
Right.
born, same thing, brother.
Right. So, and if that's the case, why is Matthew taking 8 whole verses to explain something that's as simple as Joseph knew his wife and she bare Jesus?
Yeah, brother.
Uh,
It says Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and she gave birth to Cain. It doesn't say they both gave birth to Cain.
right.
And then it says, and she again bare his brother Abel, brother. So it says that she again gave birth to his brother Abel. So, brother, that's why I thought you was being like a little silly. Women give birth alone. All you can do is hold your wife's hand and support her while she's pushing. And you can say push or breathe. But your wife is going to give birth alone. And just like when you begot, when you're doing your action, during the sexual intercourse, you're doing something to her. She's only going to receive it. So, like, but you're doing something to her that's going to cause possibly the pregnancy. But she's not helping you do that. That's all you. And that's the begot part. Begot is the man, birth, born, bear is the woman.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah, I told you, Meech. I said I got a brother on here. I said he got a good spirit. He seemed like he's open minded. He just a little reluctant. It seemed like whoever taught him this other stuff kind of like traumatized him or something. But he's he's coming around. I think he'll be fine.
Hmm. Yeah. No, that's good. So, what have you guys gone over so far?
So just that much. So what was his point about seed? He said something about seed. What was his point about that? Like
I don't.
I think he said the mustard seed, brother. What, brother Zion? What was your seed point? Were you talking about mustard seeds? What were you talking about? Johnny Apple seeds?
No, I wasn't talking about no seed.
Okay.
Other
So
than
now, not to put any pressure on you, but let me just say this. You don't have to agree, but does it make a little more sense now?
yeah, it does.
Amen. And brother, you can always you're invited. Like I said, this is a study group. We share passages. We read it in English, and if we need to, we'll go to the Hebrew or the Greek, and explain it that way. Uh, is there a question you would like to ask about this or anything in the Bible? Anything. It could be about this or anything else that you'd like to ask.
Mm. No, I just came on to hear your opinions, your ideas on
Okay.
the
All right.
subject.
All right, so let me share this to you then, because what I'm not going to do is give you my opinion or idea. I'm going to read you the King James Bible. All right, so watch this. I'm at Luke chapter 1, and I'm going to go to verse 26, brother. Okay, and I'll let you know when I'm sharing my opinion, but right now I'm going to read the Bible. Verse 26, and in the 6th month, the angel Gabriel was sent from God unto a city of Galilee named Nazareth to a virgin espoused to a man whose name was Joseph of the house of David. There's a comma there, so the house of David, I guess it don't belong to Joseph. And the virgin's name was Mary. Okay. Now look what the angel told Mary. And the angel said unto her, Fear not, Mary, for thou hast found favor with God. Verse 31. And behold, you shall become pregnant in your stomach, and you will bring forth a son, you will give birth. So, brother, this prophecy wasn't for Joseph. This was for Mary. Mary, you alone will give birth to a son and shall call his name Jesus. You see? So the prophecy wasn't about Joseph. It was about Mary giving birth. Jesus was born from Mary. Okay. Now, brother, look what Mary's response was. So the angel just told Mary that you're going to become pregnant, impregnated, and you're going to have a son and call his name Jesus. Then said Mary to the angel, How shall this be? How shall I become pregnant? Brother, Mary's old enough to know sex is how you become pregnant. She's actually married or espoused to Joseph. So, brother, she's espoused. That means that she's expecting sex with him at some point. So Mary is fully aware of the birds and the bees. Okay. But when the angel described to her that she'll become pregnant, Mary said, How? How shall these things take place, seeing I know not a man, brother? Know not a man. What does that mean to you?
Uh, Biblically, it means she she haven't had.
Sex. Right. Thank you. I'll tell you, brother, cool. Right. So Mary is saying to the angel, How am I going to become pregnant if I haven't had sex yet? Because Mary understood the angels telling her, You're going to be pregnant now. And Mary's saying, How's that going to happen? Because I learned the birds and the bees take two. And my husband, we never had sex before. So what's up? So now, verse 35, the angel's going to explain. Look, she asked, How shall this be? I don't know a man. Look what the angel answered and said unto her, Joseph shall come upon you, and the power of his seed shall overshadow you. Therefore, Jesus will be born of you. And no, brother, it doesn't read that. The angel doesn't say Joseph will take part of this process. The angel said, The Holy Ghost shall come upon thee, and the miraculous power of the highest shall overshadow you. So those two things combined, Mary, will make that holy thing which shall be born of you. Look at that word born, brother. Born of you. So verse 16, let's be clear. It's only Mary. That holy thing will be born of you, Mary, not y'all. Come on, y'all. And I ain't do that. Born of you. And you shall call him the Son of God because God is responsible 100% for your pregnancy. Joseph is out of the equation. And because he's out of the equation, your son shall be called the Son of God. Mary said, so keep in mind, brother, the events in order. The angel told Mary she'll become pregnant and have a baby. Mary said how, never had sex. And the angel explained how. It was the most high miraculous powers working on her that caused her pregnancy. The angel never said, well, you'll find out when you go home. Nah, Mary ain't for the streets.